Where you live matters. So whether you're making a couple grand per month or if you are literally a billionaire, the environment that you put yourself in will greatly influence your success. So like most videos on this channel, my intent is to help you zoom out and appreciate the changing world dynamics, and with that, both the horrifying risks and the extreme potential rewards that come with boldly wading into the future. This is a video about the materialization of what is being called the Singapore of the Caribbean, the island of enchantment, or as Bad Bunny once said, P-R. I'm bringing a new level of perspective and sophistication this year that is certain to accelerate your life. So tap in. So Puerto Rico is home to a tax incentive code known as Act 20, Act 22, and more recently repackaged as Act 60. Americans are able to become bona fide residents of the island, and in exchange, their federal tax rate becomes 4%, and there is zero capital gains. So if you're making $1 million per year living in New York City, you would save over $400,000 by coming to PR. Stock, crypto, and other marketable securities that you acquire, well, they're not subject to any capital gains either. And so to become a bona fide resident, you need to be in PR for at least 183 days per year, amongst some other things. Now, most people I know, when they first hear about this, they think, yeah, I can do it and, live there the bare minimum. Like it's some huge chore, but a necessary evil for the financial benefit. One of the most disgraceful political acts of recent memory was a certain orange president suggesting that the island be traded.
We heard the president say that he wanted to trade Puerto Rico for Greenland.
I've also seen wonderful people like Alex Hormozy speak down on it like, the point of making a bunch of money is to live where you want to live. And that just feels disrespectful and limiting, while also ignoring some of the broader societal shifts that are emerging. Between mainstream comments like that and the ongoing issues with the power grid, there's some negative connotations that are made from the States. I need to make one thing clear for you guys. After having relocated my family across the world, and after having lived here for 2 years, I can confidently say that there is nowhere in the world I would rather be than Puerto Rico, and it just keeps getting better. But let me back up really quick. I'm from Washington State, almost a full travel day away. I'm the father of 2 beautiful young girls. At the time of making this video, they are 3.5 and 6 months old. My life's mission is doing everything I can to put them in a position to do more than I've done. My father was born in a tent in Tennessee. His mom was 15 when she gave birth, and he grew up without anything to his name. The grind I've seen him embrace and the sacrifices I've watched him make to send me to college and give me the footing necessary to do what I've been able to do, well, that's deeply influenced my own life's mission. So after calling Washington State home for 28 years, essentially overnight, it became a place that I no longer felt welcome. It became a place that I felt very uncomfortable having my children grow up in. And so after doing a lot of homework, that's when we decided to give PR a shot. It is with the humblest sincerity that I say I am beyond grateful for this beautiful island. The vast majority of people that I meet are incredible and welcoming. The younger generation here has a level of entrepreneurial fire and interest that is actually largely absent in the States. The air is clean, the food is incredible, shout out Mario Pagan, man, and you've got one of the most popular artists in the world trailblazing an entirely new sound. Stuff like that actually matters. And yet, when I hear people talk about Puerto Rico in the States, there's still this pause. And that's really starting to bother me. I'm making this video because I'd like to present an alternative reality and help nurture a narrative that will ultimately see this island realize its limitless potential and make good on a promise that will make governments everywhere respect economic reality. Make no mistake, the Tax Act is a case study on entrepreneurship, human behavior, and real-world economics. The model to be loosely observed here is that of Singapore, which less than 50 years ago was one of the poorest countries in the world and generally considered a failing nation state. Under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, with a commitment to public safety and free enterprise, Singapore underwent a dramatic transformation that today has them enjoying one of the highest standards of living in the world, with a GDP per capita of nearly $100,000. So to put that in perspective, PR is about 30,000, in the United States is about 70,000. While I do believe PR is on the cusp of a parabolic trajectory, I would like to speak on a couple frustrations first. So for starters, it does doesn't seem like the younger generation has had the opportunities or the programs provided to them to be able to produce at a level in which they are seeking. In Singapore, there was a tremendous commitment to practical education. Back then, it was the industrial economy. Today, we are in the information economy, and those aren't skills that the modern formal education system is even set up to teach. So this is, again, an area in which the Tax Act has been thrown a lob to slam home. I hope you get the basketball reference. I also want to say that I think it's kind of ridiculous that naturally born Puerto Ricans can't apply for the tax status, even if they're following the rules. I think with that, you get a lot of extremely talented young individuals leaving the island, and it becomes a bit of a vicious death cycle. But I digress. So I want to move on to something that I like to call the sovereign individual prophecy. This is a book, and it's about mastering the transition to the information age. It's filled with shocking revelations about what's in store as society goes from the industrial economy to the information economy, from increased government violence to the breakdown of social structures. The crazy thing about this book is that it was written in the 90s, and if you fast forward today, the prophecies are largely coming true. The authors speak boldly with visions of unprecedented opportunity, mass human liberation, and the fundamental restructuring of global society. The book communicates this idea that technology reshapes the world, and that's whether we like it or not. Just as the Industrial Revolution obliterated the church's power over individuals and gave rise to the nation state, information technology is giving rise to the sovereign individual as the nation state violently attempts to hold on to power. We've moved into an era now, my friends, where regardless of your political affiliation, one thing that seemingly everyone can agree upon is that government is just not capable, or they're very uninterested in improving your lives in any way. Drop a comment if you agree with that, or if you disagree. I'd like to make a point here. And so as government loses the ability to provide value to the citizens, safety, public services, education, individuals increasingly opt out. That's another key realization in this book. In the information age, a job will be a task you do and not a position you hold. So with that, it means you will no longer be obliged to live in a high-tax jurisdiction. As the contributors opt out, there will be an inevitable death spiral of the nation state, and it'll grow increasingly more violent, dangerous, and unrecognizable. The author then predicts the emergence of competitive territorial clubs. These clubs would compete across axes, protection, public services, etc., etc. Sovereign individuals would be the customers within these clubs. They are able to go whenever they'd like with their time, money, and physical location. This geographically perfect island has been awarded a head start in this inevitable movement. The wealthiest nation in the history of mankind has openly signed a treaty allowing its wealthiest citizens to opt out of their traditional tax program. Now, as it relates to the Caribbean, there is rightfully discussions around colonialism. One exciting thing about moving into the information economy is the inevitable emergence of governance by collective morality. Violence will be labeled evil, character and trustworthiness will matter, productivity and the correctness of earnings being retained by those who generate them will be taken into consideration. I want to share another excerpt from the book. The authors write, "Genius is to be unleashed, freed from both the oppression of government and the drags of racial and ethnic prejudice. In the information society, no one who is truly able will be detained by the ill-formed opinions of others. It will not matter what most people on earth might think of your race, your looks, your age, your sexual proclivities, or the way you wear your hair. In the cyber economy, they will never see you. The ugly, the fat, the old, the disabled, they will vie with the young and beautiful on equal terms in utterly colorblind anonymity on the new frontiers of cyberspace. I believe in a future without limits, okay? One of the parameters for me is how are we going to cure cancer and solve all of the world's truly massive problems? And to do this, we need a system that proliferates genius and productivity. So back to Singapore, Puerto Rico, and moving boldly into the future. New skills are required today. Content creation, blockchain development, being able to use AI, anything that relates to finance, social media management, digital ad buying, digital organization, knowing how to operate, Dropbox, Google Drive, right? Like these are the things that are making up the new economy. And so if we look at PR, I believe it's on the entrepreneurs and the businesses to provide both the opportunities and the education to everyone here that is hungry and committed to an incredible tomorrow. The measures of modern formal education are totally irrelevant at this stage. What matters is the skills to produce more in this world. provide the right opportunities, and reinforce the right individuals with a nurturing and financially rewarding environment, invest in the infrastructure, dedicate your time. I had a very bright young woman reach out to me over the summer. She's 21 years old. She's born and raised in Puerto Rico, but is currently going to school in Miami. She wanted to intern for me over the summer and help me build my Airbnb portfolio. It's one of the businesses I've invested in here. In 3 months, I showed her how our systems, the technology we use, and just how to think about running a business in general. She was and continues to be an incredible addition to my team. She recently just told me of her plans to come back to PR full-time and start her own Airbnb management business. She's thanked me for being a mentor and a guide on her own journey. She has the talent and drive to turn this into a massive business based out of PR. And that's what this is all about. This video is both a call to action and a public service announcement. Global change is inevitable. If you're tired of the jurisdiction that you live in, please consider researching Puerto Rico. Think about if you had the chance to set up shop in New York before it was the financial capital of the world. Think about like the real estate appreciation. Think about the expansive business and personal development opportunities. And hey, to the Hormozy family, if this ever makes it on your radar, I would love to host you sometime, like personally. We'll roll out the red carpet, it'll be great. So secondly here, if you're already here in PR, enterprise the up. Prioritize and be the change that you want to see. Logan Paul, California is dead and it's not coming back. If done right, the impact of the act has the power to rewrite the entire course of human history. And I mean that. It provides a system for human freedom and general prosperity. Crypto hedge funds, start training new curious analysts. They don't need to go to Harvard to thrive in your new world. Racial tensions don't exist in countries where the GDP is $100,000 per person. This video was created as a devotion to the island that I have been so proud to call home. This video was created out of love. Maybe we can't force the power company to modernize the power grid, but we can create so much growth and so much progress as individuals that the tidal wave will ultimately right all of the wrongs. I am the Genius CEO. This channel is about welcoming you to my web of wonderful digital wealth and f***ing freedom. If you like this video, please consider sharing and also consider making a donation to the JJ Barea Foundation because that man has put on for PR since day one and I know he's committed to making a difference. God bless everybody. Thank you again for watching.